Hi, Alan here, and I know it doesn't look like much behind me, but I'm actually in the town of West Yellowstone. I'm sitting in an outdoor patio, and I'm at a place called Pete's Pizza and Pasta, Rocky Mountain Pizza Company. Excellent, excellent. I had spaghetti and meatballs, very impressed with their food. I'm not going to talk much about West Yellowstone right now. That's actually coming up in my next post because I'm staying at a campground called Lonesomehurst up here. But I want to talk with you about Dubois, Wyoming. That's where I was a few days ago, and I spent a few days there. Stayed at an interesting RV park. I've got it all written up on the post, and if you want to go to the post, it's in the upper left-hand corner. Upper right hand corner, sorry. There's a tab there, and you can just go over to that, or I'm sure there will be an address that'll show up here, rvacrossamerica.net, and leading / somewhere. Um, Basically, Du Bois is a gateway to Yellowstone National Park, Teton National Park, and Jackson. It's about 70 miles from Yellowstone and Jackson, and that may sound like a big distance to use as a staging location, but when you think about what it costs to stay in Jackson and some of the other towns that are a little closer to Yellowstone, Du Bois is actually quite a value, but it's expensive as campgrounds go. You're not going to get a campground for 30 bucks a night, although I did find a free one, and again, that's written up on the post, so you can go there and take a look at that. So, Du Bois itself has a main street. It's a walkable street. It's got a few restaurants. Ran into one that was particularly good. The Nostalgia Bistro had an excellent meal there. Very impressed. Nice atmosphere, good people, great service. Yeah, after a summer in Casper, great service. Same thing here in West Yellowstone. Very impressed. So, Du Bois also has near it 3 lakes, and you can kayak in at least two of them, and one of them is reasonably easily accessible. So it's got one lake to kayak in. And there's also free camping down there. And again, I talk about that in the post. Little bit to get there, but not far distance wise, just more of driving along a washboarded road and such to get there, gravel road. There's some other roads that you can travel through. There's, I think, a 25 or a 30-mile off-road trip that you can take from Du Bois up into the wilderness to see whatever there is to see up there. I didn't go. The town of Du Bois has just enough for what you'd need. It's got a few campgrounds. It's got a hardware store. It's a very complete hardware store. It's got a supermarket. Fuel is going to be expensive. It is what it is when you get into that area. But that's thank you. Yeah, the pizza with the pasta was excellent. Anyway, that was a waitress coming by. So the the thing I want to share with you, in addition to just what Du Bois is, because again, there are people that stage there and then drive into Jackson, although I don't know why you'd want to go to Jackson in the summer. I know Jackson is a skier, and it's half a dozen miles away from the ski hill, and 12 miles, I think it is. And it's a great staging town for the winter. In the summer, it's busy, and I had to drive through it in order to get where I was going. Because in one day, what I decided to do was travel down to Jackson. So if you were going to leave Du Bois and go into Jackson, you're looking at an hour and a half, thereabouts. If you're pulling a trailer, longer. If you're going up into Yellowstone, about the same in terms of time. If you're pulling a trailer in the summer, anytime, really not a great idea. There are a lot of people in the park that are going to pull over, and it takes forever to get anywhere. And some of the roads are really gnarly in Yellowstone. So for me, I was heading up in the direction of West Yellowstone, and actually going through Yellowstone would have been the shortest distance, but probably not the brightest choice. So I went to Jackson, and then I took, and to get to Jackson, you go over a pass, and I'll probably destroy the name, called Tagwati Pass. Tagwati Pass is about 3,500 feet above, 2,500 feet above the town of Du Bois. It's a nice gentle climb. It's not a bad descent into Jackson, which is about 6,200 feet. So even pulling a trailer and dealing with the issues of going down 6% grades or whatever, not a real big deal to get between Dubois and Jackson. On the other hand, getting from Jackson to Victor, Idaho, which is the Victor Driggs area, the least mileage distance is over Teton Pass. Now, Teton Pass only goes up to 8,400 feet, so it's only about 2,200 feet above the town of Jackson, but it does it rather quickly. And you have an honest, earnest 10% grade for probably a couple miles. I genuinely, for the first time, ever heard my 2015 F-250 diesel struggling. Where I was at 30 miles an hour, and it showed no interest in going any faster. So I was fine with that. And then going down, you have to, of course, gear down. I took no chances. I used first gear and air braked half the way, trying to maintain a 25, 30 mile an hour speed limit. And there are a lot of sharp curves that are marked 25 miles an hour. So I know there were some cars behind me that might have preferred to go faster. But some of those people might be alive today because I was there and I was slowing them down. Anyway, you get up to Victor and Driggs. Victor does have one campground, Teton Valley, I think it's called. It's expensive. And Driggs, I think, has nothing, but Driggs has an outstanding supermarket. If you're going to go through Driggs, go to the market. Some of the freshest produce and best fresh stuff I've ever seen. And I'm coming from an area where I'm used to seeing that in New York and New Jersey. Then traveling north of Driggs, it's a 2-lane road, 1 lane each way, but it's a good road. You go through a town called Tetonia. There is a campground there. Again, expensive. And then you start getting up towards Ashton and the Island Park area. I traveled up towards Island Park. I was headed for Buttermilk. Buttermilk for me turned out to be a bust because Buttermilk is deep in the woods. I wanted waterfront. Well, that was, in and out at Buttermilk. Took a look at it. By the way, I apologize if there's any background noise here, but I'm right on the street, but it's just a beautiful patio area. And again, the food was outstanding. So when you get up into Island Park, what surprised me is there's a piece of land that juts out, not all that different from what you find at Boise State Park in Wyoming, except all the campgrounds there do not offer waterfront camping. So I moved on. I went up to Lonesomehurst, and I've been there for the last couple of days. I'm going to stay another night and then work my way further north and west. I'm going to stop off at a place called Boulder Creek Lodge. I'm going to be talking with you about that. And I have an article I wrote up about that 3 years ago because I was there, and also at Lonesomehurst 3 years ago, in fact, in the same site. So I'm sure I'll have some new stories, though, when I get up into that area. And then my ultimate goal is to get up to Post Falls, where I'm getting a new seat for my bicycle. So my goal is to get up in the Post Falls, Idaho area, and I expect to be there within a few days. Anyway, wanted to touch base. If you want to learn more or see more or get some specifics on some of the things I talked about, again, go to the upper right-hand corner, and you can click the button that'll bring you over, or you can go to the address that I'm sure is flashing at the bottom of the page now. And hey, if you like the content here and you like my page, subscribe. Sign up for my mailing list, subscribe to my YouTube. Love to hear from you, and I do try to answer everybody who writes me. Hey, Alan from RVAcrossamerica.net, and you have a great day.